I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm getting better. I am still struggling with things I want to say, but I'm definitely dealing with it better. Uh, okay, now the two things that I'm gonna talk about. The first one, it's gonna be over quick. Uh, I am going to talk about the UFO update. Uh, it um, it isn't really being advertised as an update for the UFOs, but I'm kind of linking it. Uh, there is at least uh, one of the sitting congressmen, and I think he's kind of seen the writing on the wall. I uh, I don't know if the good people have hit. And again, I think he's useless on pretty much every other subject. I do think he kind of seems to me to be like a hell of a nice guy. I mean that sincerely. Uh, he might be one of the actual people who believes, who knows. With what's going on, maybe it's all true. I don't know. But he uh, he seems to have noticed that, like, because there's a guy from the Senate, I think it is, that's targeting him. Again, I don't know what to tell you. I think it's Tennessee. I think he's a representative of Tennessee. Might be the only representative. So he's got like the weight of a senator, but he he is noticing that those that be are targeting him. Uh, because they could be and you could be blaming it on a host of things. Uh, he could be, it could be the fact that he was, after that guy to get him on, unseated, the speaker. But you don't see anybody else that's going after being targeted like this. Uh, and then the thing is, he came out and he kind of leaked this. He kind of was speaking out on it, whatever you want to call it, back in the day. Like when they were voting to impeach that one congressman, and his excuse was, and I don't know if I would have given him credit for doing this, but now that it appears that this is the way they're doing it. They and I don't know if this was before or after he did it. So maybe it doesn't have as much to do with the UFOs, but he has come out in support of getting the hang on one sec. He's come out in response to getting the court documents released on Epstein, I think is his name, the pedophile. We're gonna call him Epstein. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care who it's gonna hurt. I think those should be made available. Uh, there was, and as far as I know, these have not been, but it would have been a separate case. But it would have been a federal case, so yeah, you should be one for all and all for one. But Epstein was in trouble in Florida, and there was something in that one that was kept quiet. Uh, I don't know, but he's been calling, and she's usually a piece of shit too. The fact that she was the one behind it, um, I I don't know. It gives me pause, but I still think that those uh, his client list, the if the flight logs are part of it, all of that shit should be made legal. It should just be going down the road with those guys. And if there's people in office that are guilty, then hey, we all need to know. And he got behind that, and he said, he goes, not that she needs me to protect me, but she was getting stonewalled, so he started putting his weight in. So maybe that's why. I mean, it could be, but I I think the reason he's been stonewalled has been at least partially because he's kind of the go-to guy on this UFO thing. But again, I could be wrong. But he when he was asked about that fucking douchebag from New York, uh, why he wasn't voting on that guy because of all the things he'd done wrong. He goes, "Hey, we're all sinners here." I mean, he was just point blank, and I didn't know that about him until this came out. But they went back. They were talking about it, and then they went back and they ran the clip, and it was him being interviewed in regard to that lying, cheating, thieving, fucking congressman. He's like, "Oh, we're all sinners here." I'm trying to do his accent. I probably can't do it. My deepest respects, Senator. Uh, but but no, he's like, "We're all sinners here." It's a why should we go against this guy when we're gonna let these other? And I kind of agree with him on that too. Um, it is what it is. And if Bill Clinton, and again, they're all worried. I seriously doubt if his is going to be in there. But hey, um, regardless of what he's done for the party, if he was involved in the child scandal, if he was, and again, if he went there innocently, and there probably were some. They got now it could be he got invited to it, and then he found out, ooh, there's some underage girls here. I'm getting out of here now. That I think should be taken, differently than if he was, getting massages from them. And that should be taken differently than if he's having sex with them. And that should be taken differently than if he's violently having sex with them. Uh, I think if you got somebody that's there just because, um, that is, going to be, it just going to be, it is what it is. If it's a guy who, just went there, had a massage, and and again, he's gonna have to, good luck, good luck making that case. But if you can convince, and maybe it's not available for prosecution, I don't know. But statute of limitations and everything. But you got to hold them some differences in in the conduct. It could be someone that just went down there, saw some pretty shady stuff, and then he pulled back. Uh, maybe he was going to get a massage, and then the happy ending came on. He's like, whoa, 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 yeah, I gotta get out of here, and and then maybe he's someone that got the full happy ending, like that Leibowitz or whatever. And again, he says, he makes the claim, I never took my underwear off. Well, there's a way to get those happy endings with your underwear on, but that looks like that guy looks like. But again, if whatever it is, but that should be made public. There's stuff that was covered up in the federal prosecution, and there's this isn't just me. I was like, there were some legal experts on who said it's okay, it's completely normal to have that stuff uh, kept quiet while the prosecution's going on. But once that's said and done, which has been for several years now, that shit's usually made public. The judge and the judge sitting over this current one, she gave until January 1st, so we were coming up on the deadline. She gave January 1st for anybody to make a reasoned argument why they shouldn't be outed. And I gotta think, yeah, there are people that if they did not they were not guilty of crimes or were not charged with crimes, maybe that gets covered up. Um, maybe, and definitely the victims. I think you'd have to cover up some of them. If they want it. If they don't want it, then hey, fine. But with those witnesses, it all depends on how they are. But the victims should definitely be covered up because most of them were underage when it went on. And but oh my God, though, it just fucking blew me away. But he did an interview where he was talking about, and like, this is not the guy you want to fuck with. I mean, this is a guy that if you're gonna, again, I think they thought he was gonna get quiet, and it's like, no, all he's doing is getting more vocal. And there was, and again, they were talking about like why some of these MAGA people are acting so bizarrely, and you've got Matt Gates and Marjorie Green, and maybe they are. Maybe they're acting fucking peculiar. Well, he goes, well, yeah, these people got naked, naked, he's not. It's a southern accent, but it's just funny as hell. But he goes, yeah, you go to a party or a fundraiser, and pretty soon there's a girl laughing at all your jokes. And he goes, and then you're ending up naked with her, back in a hotel room, and then you come to take a vote, and there is somebody like coming up to you, and this is what he said. I wish I could. If you do a Google search for Tim Burchett, you probably will pull up part of this interview. Um, but he goes, they come up to you and then they start talking. Oh my God, it looks like you were naked, and you don't want us to tell anybody, do you? Well, then you're gonna vote. You're not gonna vote this way. Then real call. And so I would take it that he is probably as fucking innocent as could be when they can't even fuck with him. I hope he don't end up dead. I don't end up hope he don't end up sick like I do. But hey, God bless him. You got these people that they just want to fuck with people. I'm really glad to see it. Uh, but here's the thing though. If this is from the UFO thing, we've had we've had senators go up missing before. There was God, it was two senators. At least one of them was a good friend of President Nixon, I think it was, and they went up missing. I believe it was a senator from Alaska, and it became the most cost expensive manhunt in history. I think it still holds that record because he didn't want to see his. I mean, yeah, well, it is what it is. They're not getting rid of this guy. Who knows? Maybe he'll end up drugged or poisoned. Like I was. Uh, Maybe he'll, something. I don't. Anyways, but he. I'm just kind of worried about him. But God bless him. God bless him. Uh, but just that little. I'm sorry it takes so long, but it kind of. I watched it again. It's like it was a little bit longer. It had more of the interview, and oh my god, it's it's like he isn't pulling any punches. He's not. They're probably mad as shit. They're like, well, anybody else, everybody else would back off, and it's like, well, you picked the wrong fucking animal here. Yeah, but he's kind of twisted. Yeah, he's it really. God bless him. And then okay, we want to do our first call to action. Uh, Please write your congressman and let him know to uh, legalize assisted suicide. Uh, when I either run out of money or when I and even if I won the lottery, hey, if you want to wish me luck for the lottery, let me know. But even if I won the lottery, I'd be still doing this because unless I found a cure, I'd still be doing this because the push comes to shove, whether I'm running out of money or whether it's like just my health getting bad. I really don't want to die. I really don't want to die. The way I saw my mom die in hospice, and we got seriously we got people dying every day, and they can allow it. The Republican Party, they can allow it. They can profit from it with their fundraising. Um, we should be able to give people like me, like my mom, and I don't even know if she would have wanted to. I really don't. I can tell my dad he would have wanted it, and he had to die in hospice. But watching her starve to death, watching her die of dehydration, I I'm not I'm not really. That's not my thing. I really don't want to do that. Well, anyways, the main thing that I want to talk about is I um, there was a prophecy. Uh, there was I had heard this before. I heard it back in the '90s, and they didn't do it or I don't remember as much. But it was mentioned in something I think on the History Channel, and every year, and I realize, yeah, it's because of the time of year. But every year around Christmas, every year around Easter, it would become the Jesus Channel, and you'd find out a lot of stuff on Jesus. And to be fair, you only got so much, you only got so much time to fill in your day, 24-hour network. Well, they this one I think was on Discovery or Travel or something like that. Oh wait, no, no, this one was on History. I think somebody else made it, but this one was on History, and but it's called the Last Pope or whatever, and it's based on the prophecy of Saint Malachi. There's a name you don't hear much anymore, but he did other prophecies, and this guy is recognized as a saint. He is patron saint of the Archdiocese of Armagh and the Diocese of Down and Connor. And he did this prophecy back in 1139. Um, so a little over 1,000 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, he did this prophecy, and um, okay, I'll leave a couple loose, and then I could take these. But he made this prophecy, and when I heard it before, at least the way it sticks out to me, because I had I thought about it like a couple times over the years, and I'm like, because he named each of the 112 or priests or whatever that would become the pope, and I'm thinking, well, God, that's real easy if he named them, because that's the impression that I'm not saying that they were wrong. I'm saying I was, but they gave the impression that he named them all, and well, this one here, either it's fresher and I'm remembering it a little more accurately, or this one did a better job explaining it. But he didn't name them by name. He named them by like a phrase or two. Like I can't remember all of them, but I think it was John Paul the First. He was Pope who was born of the moon or something like that, and he was, and he was something along the lines of his uh, his name was based on like the moon or something like that. And he was born in a fucking solar eclipse. No, he was born on a half moon or a quarter moon or something like that. and his name was he was born on a certain phase of the moon, and his light or his name was something to do with the moon. And then John Paul II, he was the uh, he was like just about the opposite, where he was born under the labor of the sun or something like that. And that guy there was born and died during a solar eclipse. That's why, and it said that you gotta work pretty hard to find one, and it's not like when it was finally released, there was a guy that tried to get it. He was known as a priest and a sailor, so he tried to sail a boat. Well, that wasn't good enough. But it's do what you want, but again, it has to be. And this guy didn't get it right once. This guy got it right either 112 times or damn near to 112 times. Uh, and when he and I can't remember what they did with Nostradamus, but it is also true that the Fatima hearing, or the Fatima prophecy, and the Nostradamus ones were also with it. They were real. The I'll get into that more in a minute, but it's like but there was some so it's like they again it just. And let me see if I can remember this. The Fatima, or not the Fatima, the prophecy. The the prophecies of Fatima, I'll get into those in a minute, but the prophecy, I think his was pretty vague, but it was like it was listed as the prophecy of, here's the next 11 and 12 popes. And I thought, yeah, right. They got them all listed by name. All they got to no, that isn't true. I was wrong on that. But again, I don't think either I wasn't paying that much attention to it, or but it was supposed to be the last one, and it comes down to Pope Francis is supposed to be the last pope, and I think it explains a little bit like why he's doing what he's doing. Uh, yeah, I think that's it. You know, he basically gave the list of names, and he basically so they've just, either it was in the it was either in the prophecy, or they just assumed that it would be the end time. And the Fatima prophecy, and I can't remember, it ties in with one of Nostradamus's prophecies, and but I can't remember that. But the Nostradamus or the Fatima ones, they they had these three kids in Fatima, and they were shimmering, you know, with her, or she was shimmering. It was this female that appeared to them and told them to come back for the next 5 months on a certain date. And they started having, like, people started coming with. And then finally, the last three times, I believe it was the last three times, she started giving them prophecy. And the first one, it was a vision, and the earth opened up, and the kids could see hell. I don't know if you know I don't really know what to make of this, but the church is pretty. I mean, you say what you want, but the church was like not that easy to convince. And if it hadn't have been for the lady telling them, the kids would have been like distraught. And she was telling the kids that the prophecy they were to pass on. These people had to stop what they were doing, and or you'd basically go to hell. And then the second prophecy, I don't really remember what that one was. I'll try and look it up when I get done because I don't want to lose this page. But then the third prophecy, they wouldn't tell you what it was. They wouldn't tell the people, wouldn't tell the priest. Uh, and I think it was only told to the one girl. And she later became a nun. And then it was sometime before 1959, but her bishop came to her and basically said that she should write it down for, you know, history so it could be preserved. And then she did, but she told him, and it sounds like this kind of came from, you know, not her. And she wrote it down, but she said it needed to be sealed in an envelope until 1960. Well, then in 1950, the Pope at the time uh, ordered it to be unsealed. And he read it. He kind of freaked out. He sealed it back up. And then when the Pope John Paul II was shot, damn near killed, I don't know if he read it before or if he read it afterwards. But he read it, and he released it to the world. And he was pretty sure that he was saved. And it's not clear that he was the person that it was speaking of. And he but it was basically, it spoke of uh, a man in white. She had a vision of a man in white, probably a pope, a bishop in white, probably a pope, walking on all these bodies with various members of the clergy and nuns and stuff behind him. And then he would walk up on these bodies to a hill, and then he'd be shot. Um, I don't I don't see how you could envision that was a prophecy filled out by you, because he was just going around shaking hands. Um, I think the second one of Fatima, I might be wrong, and I think the second one on Fatima was that the Pope had to consecrate all of Russia or something like that. I think that one already came through, because they talk about when the communists fell, when the communists took charge, they they the the church kind of fell in Russia. So I think that one already happened. But with this one now that's coming, I I would think that would explain a lot. Now, it might have been just because he's a decent guy, but maybe that's why because they talked about this in there. They I mean talk about it per se, but they were saying, like, the things he's done since he's got in. They brought that up. Um, when he first got into office, he opened up the Vatican books to open accounting. And they said that a lot of your Vatican business was done with uh, quite possibly organized crime. And because up until that moment, it was impossible to get into legally, physically, and so on and so forth. And he opened it up to him. The other thing that it was talking about, it was either the original prescription or prophecy from Saint Moloch, or it was the one from Nostradamus, or it was the one from uh, the Fatima kids. But they were talking about there being like a civil war in there, in amongst the priests. And there is currently a one, because again, he is a good man. He has come out now and said, well, we need to quit treating, God and Jesus like they're characters from a Harry Potter. I'm not making this up. Something about Harry Potter was brought into it. But he goes, we need to. I'm paraphrasing him, but I'm at least paraphrasing him right. But he quoted, that saying that, I'm quoting him somewhat, paraphrasing him, that we got to start uh, treating Jesus and God like they're magicians. out of a Harry Potter novel and get back to helping people. Um, and he's removed one. He removed one from his high seat. This is shortly after he got in office, and he just I think it's the same guy. And this guy, you know, the things come down from the Father, from the Holy, from the Father to the Pope to you. That's the pecking order. And he came down with his rulings, and there were these cardinals that didn't really like it. And so his at least his second shot across the bow was just recently. He basically that guy kept up. You know, he's the newest addition to the fuck around and find out society. Um, but he basically took away his the oh god the basically like the retirement uh, home. It's like a fucking it'd be in the Vatican or in the Holy City, but it's like a retirement home. It's like a it's not a nursing home, but I'm trying to think of it. It's meant to be like that, but it's like a retirement home. He took that away from him, and he cut his pension. He doesn't get a pension anymore. What else is he gonna do? You know, I mean, I believe me, I can identify with that. I can identify. He just basically fucking. I'm done. You know, Pope. I've given you my orders. You guys have been fucking with me for a couple of years. This is gonna be the first shot across the bow, and hopefully the rest of them will learn from that. And so you know it could have just been a warning. You know that this guy is like there might be backlash from this guy. There might be backlash from the organized crime. Uh, there could be. I mean, this is the thing. When you look at it's perfect times for it. You got Russia. Russia was allowed to become this communist state. May Again, you can say what you want. Maybe there is something to it. I mean, not. I'm not saying that. Oh, God forbid. Oh, no, no. But I mean, they just got used to having their way. You know, first the communist state, then the failed state, and now Putin try to put things back in order after he's got the corrupt state. But it could be him. This fucking war. The war or whatever with with this envisioned. Maybe it was inevitable. Maybe you got this thing with Russia going on. It could be this thing in Israel. Israel has got this war with Hamas, and I'm not saying Israel's innocent of everything, but I think if you could get Russia, or not Russia, but I think if you could get Israel a fair trial, I don't think they'd be convicted of war crimes. I do not. There are so many people out there, and gotta are they? Most of them are fucking idiots. They're just following the herd. Uh, but is that going to be it? And you take a look at the religious thing going on in the U.S. You know, maybe they're gonna do it. You know, there's enough people. They're supposedly evangelicals. They're, oh God, oh there, but for the grace of God go I and all this. Well, they're doing some fucking pretty evil shit. You know, they're going against they're going against women having like health care. They're going against transphobic or transgender people. They're going against gays and God, all this because of their impression that it's somehow illegal or whatever in Bible. Well, what if they're wrong? Maybe it's twisted. This whole thing, could be, this could be the Vatican could be predicting. This guy could have been predicting the rise of MAGA, the rise, the second coming of the Fourth Reich or whatever. Um, it's just really embarrassing. It really is. It's just I don't know, but I I get kind of worried about it. And then I don't think I could. I don't think these are enough that I could make a whole thing out of. Maybe I'll look at them again. I can maybe I can. But but the but they look at this the end the I'll try and do this in a part two. I There was a series I had seen. Again, it was all like it was all like all from a bunch of series or whatever that was on, and I'll try and watch those again. I'll try and do a part two on this and do that. But I'm fading out. But I didn't do too bad of a job. I don't think. I'm starting to fade now. Peace out.